Audio, 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 audio. This is one thing that I've learned in watching a lot of the big YouTubers. You can deal with sometimes subpar video. What you never can deal with is subpar audio. That is something that will bore people. It will cause them to disengage. We've had to deal with it. Our first couple live streams, the audio just wasn't quite there. And there's things that you do to try to learn and figure it out, but it is hugely important. What I ended up focusing in on my end was a great unit, at least as I see it. It's from Ars Technica.
Now, are you talking about the microphone there in that picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this microphone, Audio Technica. The cool thing about the Audio Technica, and I've actually been a fan of theirs for some time. The specific one that we're using, it's their AT897, so an AT897 version, Audio Technica. It's a kind of great all-around microphone. It's kind of what you'd call, and I don't want to get overly technical, but it helps to focus the direction of the audio that you're recording. So we want this microphone right in front of us so that it captures our voice. But the way that the mic is set up as a condenser microphone is that noise that's happening behind it, it doesn't pick up. If the noise is too far to the side of it, it doesn't pick it up. So this one really directs the field or area that it is picking up audio, which is great because if you got background noise, you got kids in the background, you want to be able to ensure that you're able to manage the audio and really also make sure that you've got a great sound. So by having good audio quality, when you get it into your video editing software, there are things that you can do to, increase the quality of it. There are things that you can do to ensure that if there are problems with the audio for some reason, you can do tweaks on it. Now, I will let you in on a bit of a secret. We actually run two microphones. And the reason for running two microphones is, let's say something catastrophic happens with one of them, that there's always some redundancy to make sure that we're not at a total loss. But it's because we've matured our equipment array that we're in a position to do that. But if you're just getting started, just get a good mic. Get a good mic. You'd be surprised at what you can do. And there are all kinds of wonderful mics out there. A lot of them are, USB based, so that you don't have to have a lot of particular cables and the like. You can plug it directly into your computer. And that actually does bring up something. You need a computer. Part of having the computer is because this is streaming, you end up, let me go back to this briefly. Because this is streaming, you do need the means to take this and encode it. So you can see in the picture with the microphone back behind it is the computer that we're using. It's not some big, crazy, powerful machine. Now, I'm a big fan of getting machines that are a few years older, actually. I think they're up to Gen 11, maybe Gen 12 on Intel processors. And I run Windows machines, and I'm not telling you to pick one way or the other. Whatever works for you is great. But what I've found is that by looking at about an 8th generation Intel i7 processor, you're going to ensure that you don't have any kind of latency and lag, at least from the computing side. Now, when you're doing live streaming, it goes out onto the internet, and who knows at that point what you're going to be dealing with. There can be issues with your bandwidth and the like, but you want to ensure that your computer is robust enough to deal with it. The other thing that I do think is very important, it isn't necessary because we've streamed off of a laptop before. I don't think that the video quality was really as good. but it is possible. So if you just have your camera, your lens, a good mic, and your computer, that's enough. That's enough, so long as, again, it's a more recent generation of Intel, presumably and preferably an i7 or better.
Where do you buy things? I mean, you're talking about not buying it such that it's the brand new, latest, greatest, or whatever. It's kind of like a car. You're getting the the model that's a year old or 2 years old. I would imagine, number one, you're saving a decent amount of money.
You are.
But where do you find them? Where do you find used computers?
The two sources, and in all candor, and this is not a plug for either of them, my first go-to is always eBay. The reason being is that it's a national marketplace. You can put in very specific filters. So you can go in and say, I want a Gen 8 or an 8th generation Intel i7 processor. Select that as a requirement for you on any computer that you're buying. We do run 32 gigabytes of RAM on this. You could get by with 16 gigabytes though, because it does run some of the processing power of your machine to do this streaming. But the other one, and I've seen this more and more, Amazon does their renewed, where they take a late model and they basically freshen it up. They run it through all the diagnostic tests and they make sure that it's as close to new as is possible. So if you see an Amazon renewed product, those are actually good to go. For eBay though, you can also do that. What is it? They have a little insurance policy that if the thing, has issues within, a 2-year period, you can send it in and they'll fix it. So there's ways to mitigate.
SquareTrade.
Was it SquareTrade?
Is it still SquareTrade?
I don't remember. I don't know. But the point is they look into that. There are great resources to get aftermarket devices. Some people may be worried, but the cool thing that I like about eBay, at least, is that it's driven by reputation. If somebody was a jerk who was just peddling trash all the time, they'd get horrible reviews and people would stop buying from them. So people take the time to ensure that their products are actually really good because they want the positive reviews. So I love eBay. It's great for me. It may not be for everyone, but you don't need the latest and greatest. I actually shy away from it because I find, at the end of the day, it's still a machine. It's still going to have issues, whether it's new or old. I've always kind of had this mantra that about 10% of all electronic devices you buy end up being trash. So 90% of the time, not a bad statistic. So if you can save some money, why not? The last thing, it is worth getting a good video card. The video card that Tamara does use for her video editing is a very powerful 8 gigabyte. It's a GDDR6 video card. It's an NVIDIA product. It's very powerful, but you need that much power to be able to work with 4K video, which are huge, big files. And when you go to render them, if you don't have the video card powerful enough to take that and convert it all into a usable file format so that you can put it up the way that we do, it is completely borderline worthless to do video editing. So you need to have enough power. Here, though, we're just talking about streaming. So what I'm using is just an NVIDIA GeForce. It's their GTX 1050 Ti. It's a 4 gigabyte video card. It has the GDDR5. You don't want to go with the 4. A GDDR4, that's kind of going out. And a lot of your modern resources, you're going to need something that's at least a GDDR5. But that's just handling our streaming. And at least as far as I can tell, it seems to work. Maybe we have some technical difficulties because of, again, the bandwidth, the internet side of it. But as far as what we're doing here on our end, it's pretty seamless. It's great. And the nice part is that when you take some of the free software that's out there to do streaming, like OBS, we actually use a variant of OBS called Streamlabs OBS because they help to kind of facilitate a lot of the kind of back end. So I don't have to be some technical whiz bang, but we can still go ahead and get good video up. It's kind of a nice fit for us, but get a little lighting, camera, your lens, a good mic, a good enough computer, a little software, and that's really it. It doesn't take much more than that. And, the way I keep talking amongst ourselves is this is a craft. This is a skill. You're never going to be perfect, at least so long as you have a basic sense. The next thing to do is just get going. We have no...
Dive in.
Yeah, we have no real expectations that people are going to be like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Our expectation, though, is that we're going to learn and we'll necessarily get better. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the cool part of this. And that's kind of my goal in exposing everyone to kind of what we're using, because we've put our money where our mouth is. Nobody sponsors us. Who are we? You know what I mean? So we've made the investments. They're useful, and as we go along with this, I'll focus in on some of the other components that we use. But at least with this discussion, if you were to make comparable investments, you can be up, running, having a great experience, learning your craft, and refining it. And, if you look at any of the folks who've turned into these just literally multi-millionaires doing nothing more than what we're trying to do, what do they all say? Just start doing it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Don't think, I got to have this, I got to have that. Just start. And as you do, it will come to you. You'll build up an understanding, and how you want to present will shape then what your investments are. But you just got to get started, period.
Yep.
Is that fair?
That is.
So.
Big brain.
Is it?
Big brain. Big brain.
I
you are going to target certain people who are going to absolutely be enthralled with everything you've just said. I get to just say, is it working? Are we on? Okay, I'm good.
But tell me, it's not also kind of cool.
It's cool.
That it does work.
Oh yeah,
the way it does.
I thought about that the other day. He had to travel, as many of you know, and I thought, well, maybe I can, figure out how to flip things on and do a little bit so people know what's going on. Yeah, no. So it's extremely cool what you've created here, and that you can, figure out how to do this, because
it's not that involved though. If you literally watch the same things that I watch on YouTube, again, I'm not, I don't really know of a better source, honestly, where you can kind of just say, I want to know about this product, and boom, there's 20 videos on it. Find me a better source.
Yeah, YouTube's awesome.
Yeah, there are sides to it.
There are sides to it that we don't agree with. But if you want to learn anything, I think you could learn dental surgery on YouTube.
Or see what happens when it goes wrong.